Is it warocracy or autocracy? Or what type of crazy is that? Except crazy.
News making the headlines.
Black Maria is to carry criminals, child looters that are in government today.
Sometimes it gets confrontational.
Slap you in the face.
They don't put words into my mouth.
Whatever it is that will bring our military to disrepute, I say to hell
On
with it.
Cold Digest,
I want to know why I should be believing them.
every weekday, we bring all of these together and take them to the court of public opinion.
Everybody has the right in Nigeria,
where you are the judge.
Thank you so very much for staying with us. It's still Cold Digest and Cold TV News, and what we're looking at is poverty and hunger eradication, the Nigerian situation, and we're looking at it based on the fact that the poverty eradication and hunger is actually the #1 MDG goal that the Nigerian government agreed to, that by 2015 all of this would come to play, and by 2015 we're talking about sustainable development goals. And so we're asking, are we totally eradicated poverty and hunger to a level that we can now talk about sustaining these goals? Well, that's a question for you to answer, and very soon we'll be opening our phone lines for you to call in to give your question, your contribution. But before that, let's see what played out in Imo State, where the wife of the governor had to distribute some relief materials to some of the citizens there, the widows in that community.
For these widows who live in shanties and manage to get by, despite the challenges life has thrown at them, hope abounds.
Where that collects the water, and according to her, anytime that basin is filled up, she will have to throw it away. In addition to that, she also have a leather, a polythene. Rather than to use blanket to cover herself when she's sleeping, she will use that polythene to cover herself. And the reason is because if it starts raining, so that the rain will not fall directly on her body.
Norma Nkechi Rocha Sokorocha has taken upon herself to reduce the burden of these helpless women. In a warm embrace with some of them, she shows them love like mother, sister and friend. Some of them react to this good gesture.
Sister, I'm very happy. So because of joyness in me, it's making me to hang up. So I don't know what to say actually. But that's why I'm saying that my mother is not well. And I want to thank God. God can make it for me very easily. That is how God makes it very easy to everybody. And my own too. I was 6 years old when my father died. So
nǹkan tó dáa ló ṣẹlẹ̀ lọ́sàn-án nítorí pé Ọlọ́run ló remember mi lọ́sàn-án kì í ṣe agbára mi bí wàá ṣe agbára Ọlọ́run.
The wife of the governor added that the target is to build 27 houses in all, of which will be completed within the next 2 months.
And then we get some of the majority is mine from me, and then of course some well-meaning Imolets or Nigerians that have passion for what I do.
On the issue of the health care of some of the widows, she has this to say.
That are in this condition are not even feeling well. Some medically are not feeling well. Some also have mental problems. And this is as a result of the living condition that they found themselves. And that is why I always will say, for you to be able to think right, you have to be able to live right.
She urged all Nigerians to join her in the quest to support widows and save them from discrimination. Ajibade Awofeso, Call TV News, Owerri.
Poverty eradication, you'd say, and which takes me to the popular saying that some have food but cannot eat, but some can eat and have no food. And you saw that play out in the widow area, where it's quite a shadow of what a human being should really be living in, and you ask yourself, Why is this the condition where an average Nigerian is living? Now, to be a part of the show, you could call the numbers showing on your screen, and we'll be glad to hear what you have to say on what the government should look into to sincerely eradicate poverty in Nigeria, and so that an average Nigerian can have a good life to live. Now, Liboros, you want to react to
yes,
what you saw?
While I believe it's a good development to use your office, to gather people of like minds to support a cause to eradicating poverty, fantastic. But I will ask one very germane question. The husband had been in office for 4 years plus now. What is the program of the government to eradicate poverty, to provide for all of these persons? Because there are so many of them. So 27 houses we know will not be enough. And so government, it is primary responsibility.
Let me cut you short, Boris. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, please tell us your name and where you're calling from.
I'm calling from Enugu.
Okay, Emezie from Enugu. Emezie, could you speak a little bit louder? I can hardly hear you.
Okay.
All right.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can.
All right. You're talking about poverty.
Yes.
Poverty eradication, huh?
Yeah.
Actually, my own point of view, I can just see and tell you people that for poverty to go, to leave this country entirely, you must eliminate corruption. Corruption is the main thing that brings in poverty. If one man should be having like billions of dollars in foreign accounts, then how do you think other men could do? He's rendering other people poor.
Okay.
Corruption is pulling down our economy. And the main reason why you see poverty is because the economy is not improving. It has never improved since the inception of Nigeria.
All right. All right.
So, to curb that thing, to get it down, to get poverty down, to eradicate it entirely, we must really fight corruption.
All right. Thank you very much, Emezi, for that contribution. Okay, you could go ahead, Boris.
Yes, so it is the primary responsibility of government to cater for these widows. What is the government's program as regard taking care of these homeless people? This you saw a young boy who, for all we know, can be president of Nigeria tomorrow. But if he's not given opportunity to grow, to be educated, you deprive the country of, such human resources. It's not enough, as brilliant, as fantastic as these ideas would be for governors' wives, local government wives, to want to, bring people. Yeah, it is good. If I, just like I would want to gather my friends to say, look, support me in a cause to feeding the poor. But when I now know that I have somebody in office, or I'm somebody in office, it shouldn't just be about, gather my friends. There should be a policy program on that, and people can relate with it. And then you would say, yes, there are programs in place to ensure that government eradicate poverty. After all, the security and welfare of the people is the primary responsibility of government, and not, at intervals like that. We've come and see so many programs. When they leave office, it dies.
That's the point I'm coming to. Let's just pick this caller. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, tell us your name and where you're calling from.
I'm Engineer Moses.
Okay, Engineer Moses.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Could you turn down the volume of your TV set, Engineer Moses?
I'm Engineer Moses. I'm calling from Otupo.
Otupo.
Yes, I'm outside now.
Okay, all right. So I can hear you. Go ahead, Moses.
I'm Engineer Moses. I'm calling from Otupo, Benue State.
All right, go ahead.
Yes, we like the program very well. And the two people there, they are discussing, they are representing us well. But the problem we're having with the government is this bailout form they are saying, they are talking about. Like some governor now, they are misusing it now. Like, for example, in Benue State, the teacher, they're owing the teacher for almost 8 months now.
It should be about 10 months or so, I learned.
8 months now.
Okay.
Up till now, since the incoming governor, they have not paid them up to 2 months. since they came, they pay only 1 month. So if government can leave such money to the state without monitoring the state, it's very wrong. During the time of Obasanjo, somebody like us will go to local government and do projects. If you bring a good proposal, they give you job, 1,500,000, 200,000. We are doing it managing with ourselves, we business people. But right now, there's nothing like that in the local government system. When the money comes, they share the money and put it into their pocket. So this incoming government should do something serious about it. Not giving the state the money that is the problem.
Okay.
One of them will go and buy billions of estates, use money to build his own personal estate in Abuja.
All right.
He will go to Obudukachiran and build his own personal building, have in his own state, have in other places. So government will formulate a policy that will favor the poor people.
All right.
If you see what is happening within the state now, the poverty level is very high. We are dying.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. All right.
Let them advise the government very well what to do.
All
and
right.
they know what to do.
Thank you very much.
Corruption have eaten up everybody in this country.
All right, thank you. Now, the leadership and continuity, you know, you said something about when someone started. The Shopee program is a typical experience. A lot of Nigerians feel defrauded that they started something and they were just later.
Because when there is no proper foundation for such program, it's one man's brilliant idea just comes and then the government buy into it and you implement. Once that person is out of office, there are no foundation.
Should
there are
that
no
be
law.
the case?
It shouldn't be. There are no laws backing it up, and so at the end of the day, it just fizzled out. Another one comes, you look for one program. And quickly, I need to go to Benue. Benue is an agrarian state. If you have ever visited, even from Otukpo to Makodi to Boko, all the way to Vandeke and all of this, if you see mangoes, oranges in those places, a basin can be 50 naira. I am telling you because I served in Benue State and my wife is from Benue State. But I asked myself, if the Vandeke local government, there is nothing happening there. I asked myself, what is the government of this state doing to encourage agriculture? Not just subsistence farming, to encourage industrial farming. You have orchards, but here there are no industries to make use of the end products. What stopped the government from investing or encouraging investment in juice manufacturing in these places?
Which comes to the policy, you said.
Which comes to policy and even creating employment.
All right, let's just pick this caller. Hello, good morning. Hello?
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Tell us your name and where you're...
Good morning.
Yes, tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Victor.
Victor?
Wilfred.
Okay. Calling from where?
Calling from Ghana.
All right, go ahead, Victor.
Ghana.
Okay, go ahead, Victor.
Actually, we are talking about poverty. The truth of the matter is that we don't really know what we want. Because I believe actually that we have planned, we have failed to plan. And that is why we have planned to fail. Because I can't see the reason why somebody will be there for almost 4 years. Coming to tell you, you will do that and you will do this. You go and vote that person again. And they coming to the issue of Buhari that is leaving us. We the youth is like we are educated and we still remain illiterate. Somebody will tell you he will do something in 100 days. That is 3 months. There are somebody who has been there for almost 86 years who cannot achieve. And we believe the person that the person is telling us the truth. I don't think we black people will reason well. And I'm even seeing that our place is different from the white people. But that is not even the major problem. What I suggest that will help us to alleviate poverty in Nigeria, I think it can have check and balances in Nigeria to help us a lot.
All right, thank you very much.
How are we going to achieve this?
All right.
Let's try to divide Nigeria, west, east, and the north, and have a central government that will control. We have a legal judicial system that will superhead everything in Nigeria so that we have rule of law. That when somebody is deviating from the law, and whenever you make a policy that this is what you're going to do, you take it a point of duty. When you fall to that, it will be obligation on you. On the person.
All right. Thank you very much. Now, you know, you said something that I really do not agree with, that blacks are not, because we have a lot of Nigerians doing exploits outside the shores of Nigeria, and we have some successful blacks in Nigeria, so I don't quite agree with that, the fact that...
But you can't blame me.
Okay.
I mean, with the way things are happening. Sometimes ago, I posted, you know, a message on the Facebook. I said, are we blacks animals? 55 years of independence, no electricity. You know, I keep on mentioning those, you know, problems. That if care is not taken, the white people will come back, you know, to take over the management of our life.
Are they not already managing our life?
Indirectly, that's what is happening. Because I have idea, and I'm telling the whole world, this idea is the solution to the problem of my country. See all the contributions you have made so far. No, even when they are listening to you, they are not going to pick you up and say, cool, come and give us this idea. You know, so that is the problem.
If you submit a proposal, somebody else will use it.
Yes, I've been preaching a concept for the past 7 years now. What do I have in response? Was come and take money and suspend this your preaching. And when I asked them why, they said they have invested heavily
in election,
in the present political system, that they have built structure across the country. And if Nigerian people should understand what I'm preaching, where do I expect them to run to? And I tell them, I don't need your money, but please adopt this system in the interest of the majority of Nigerians. And I've been having problems with them since then.
You see, Motayo, now, those days you talk about mega cities. Now we're talking about smart cities. Mega cities run on natural resources. You build high-rise infrastructure. Now the world had moved from mega cities to smart cities, where with a click of the button, you know, you can access information. You are here now. Nigeria probably might not even know that you exist, but somebody somewhere in other part of the world already know your data, that you exist by virtue of living smartphones. You have all your information there, your date of birth, your phone number, your photographs, and all of that. And with a click of the button, the person can access and say, look, this is who Omotayo Alo is, this is where she works, this is how she looks like. And, you know, if you want to look for all the Omotayos in Lagos, they would give you all the ones that they have. Yet your government don't have that same information, and nobody's investing in that area to say, okay, now people sit down because they are given opportunity to think. And so they can sit down to think and say, okay, look, from the .com men to the emails, to the Gmails, and now even postal services, even the convention and media is gradually being, you know, moribund because of somebody's innovation, because the environment and the government gave him the opportunity and the platform to innovate. And the moment also you bring that idea, the government is ready to protect you and protect it so that people, you know, don't steal it, don't unnecessarily make money from it, and then in turn tax you. Smart ideas tax you and make money. You create the opportunity for people to enable themselves, and then you now tax them in return. And that is why you have situations where government will tell you they make some money from taxes. But here, what we do, we drag everybody into the tax net, whether you are capable of paying taxes or not. We say, yes, now we have so many people to pay tax. Talk about our industries. Those days you had a Jakarta Steel Company, you have Delta Steel Company, and you have about 4 rolling mills feeding these companies. You have a Oshobo rolling mill, you had a Jos rolling mill, you had about 2 other rolling mills. You have iron ore, or you still have in Itakpe. And till today, when we discuss infrastructure, we talk about, you still have the Minister of Power and Steel. Are we still talking about steel in Nigeria? These are natural resources that God just gave to us. If you go to the Alaja Steel Company, massive projects. But what became of it today? We brought in Indians that we said we're going to invest money in it, and at the end of the day, cannibalize the company. Do you know Obasanjo's administration? And today, nobody is even mentioning it.
And now, which also...
And it still is the bedrock of the development of any nation, if you're talking about infrastructure.
You know, recently the president disclosed in France that Nigeria has a very good climate for business investors to come in. And so isn't it contradictory that some companies are folding up and the president is saying we have a very good climate for business to strive?
Basically, yeah, what do you expect the president to say? He's not going to go to France and say, if it was when he was in opposition, he would say the climate is not conducive, government need to do more. But now he's in government, the only way he can talk to investors is to say, look, we have a good climate. And that is why, for me, government should talk less. Because investors will believe their foreign missions in your country more than the government. Because that is why they always go back to their foreign missions to ask for reports. That is why you see foreign missions issue statements to foreigners, oh, don't visit this country within so and so time, or restrict your movement if you are in the country, because they are out to protect their own. What you should now concentrate on is, look, there is a whole lot that needs to be done. Now we're trying to plug loopholes. Fantastic, great. And some of them, as the money is coming, we need to begin to put them in places to ensure that we provide the enabling climates for people to come and invest, so that they will in turn create jobs for our people. And in creating jobs for our people, the next thing we need to do also is to ensure that we have rules and regulations, so that they don't just come, violate our people, maltreat them, all in the name of foreign investment. And then also, the investment that you are bringing in, our laws allow you to take away your profit 100%. No, we need to ensure that we retain some here for corporate social responsibility. You're working here, you just can't take everything away. And then the taxing system. How many of these people, what are the incentives, and from when to when? By the time you know, all of these are handful. They are not things you can achieve like this. You need proper planning. And when you talk too much, you sing songs too much, it gets to a point, they become broken record when nobody's seen anything on ground.
All right. Now, in a bid to actually avoid something that would cost the government a lot to manage, because looking at the report of the sacked 700 workers, some of the aggrieved workers were saying something about xenophobic, that they don't want xenophobic in Nigeria. And also in Osun, if I remember well, one of the aggrieved workers was saying that the government should not push him to do what it will do, and they shouldn't hold them accountable. So it's more of like people are tilting towards violence. People are tilting, and we saw that play out when even some of the protesters had to beat up a journalist who they thought was an employee of the state-owned TV and radio station. And so what do you think should be done to actually calm the minds of Nigerians who are really, really on the edge at this time, especially as poverty and hunger is pushing them to do the extreme?
I think we have serious problem in our hands. Now, Buhari has given them bailout fund. After paying the salary, and they couldn't cope again, and they're going back to Buhari again. So I think for now, they need a conference of the stakeholders. Maybe we need to restructure this country. Maybe we need to reduce the number of states.
Speaking of restructuring, Boris, do you actually buy into the idea of another national conference, which was the call by North Group, Northern Reawakening Forum, saying that there should be another national conference? Is that needed at this time?
All the conferences that we've had, what became of them? Even the ones we just had, what become? Look, there are some. Even if we don't want the one that we had before, there was a NADECO report. Majority of these people are the ones in government now. There are reports that you can implement. You can begin to implement. So, what was the cost of the former conference? And so, what is the cost of the other conference that we're talking about? You don't need all of this. We're talking about saving money, where your workers are dying in droves of hunger. You're talking about going on a jamboree again in Abuja to discuss and do what? You spend another time and then you pause the government and say, we are discussing. When the report come out, we'll implement it. We are saying we have wasted enough time. So nobody should even talk about conference now. What we are saying is, look, the workers are already on the edge. And they're saying, look, we might take laws into our hand. Have you wondered why the reporter who was mistaken for the state-owned reporter, why they were manhandled? Probably because the state will not, state television or radio will not report the information as it is, because we all know them. They will always want to lean, necessarily in favor of the government. And so that is why you see the workers will be angry. It is high time we begin to depart from all of this too much talk. I just talk less. And then somebody is coming up to say, hey, we need to sit down again and talk. There are so many brilliant ideas. I listened to the vice president during the campaign. There was a fora, friends of the Professor Yomi Oshibanjo, who attended the VI. Fantastic idea. Talk about returning the marketing boards and all of that. Some of these agricultural produce, how do you mop them up, buy them, and look for also find a way of establishing industries that can make use of them. As I talk to you now, do you know that our agricultural produce are banned in EU countries? And what is the reason? That since 2012, they have been advising us the pest controls that you use, the fertilizers that you use. There's need for quality control. There's need for us to understand so that your produce, are they harmful to our people? And so when you ban them, that's a big problem. You're talking about job creation. And so that's somebody's food. That's somebody's business. It's going to lie low for some time. It is that person cannot, if he doesn't have the wherewithal to go abroad, to go to bring the marketer or the regulatory agencies to come look at the farms and the way he's operating, might just lie low. It's just like NAFDAC going to China to check factories and industry whether these products that are produced meets the required standard. That is basically what they are asking for. So that's when we begin to talk. That is a whole lot that needs to be done. It's not that because we love to talk so much. Left to me, I can sit down in my own little way and I'm able to feed my family. But at the end of the day, what becomes of my children? This is the same society that we all own. So if the government cannot provide for them, and then you think maybe someday you are able to fleece your client and build massive houses and erect war, it will get to a time where these walls might not even be, strong enough to protect you and your families.
So probably the withdrawal of police from the VIPs could be very scary if this is allowed to continue.
Exactly. Even if you give them 10 policemen, we have seen where people with 4 mobile police were kidnapped by kidnappers. And so that's what I'm basically saying. It will get to a time these police will not be able to protect you. Even the policemen that we're talking about, how well do we protect? How well do we treat them? It is the same society, the way we maltreated everybody, that we are treating our policing. And they are not well incentivized. The accommodation for them is next to nothing. Salary can't even take them home. So we need to do a whole lot. And government cannot provide everything.
All right. Quickly from you, Akani, as a round of
what I'm saying is that Nigeria is having financial crisis presently due to the fall in the price of crude oil.
Yeah.
And nobody can predict when that will end. That's why I'm suggesting that are we going to start laying off the workers? Or what can we do? And that's why I'm suggesting maybe if there's a way we can reduce the number of states. Maybe refer back to
collapse the states.
Well, that's a long-term project.
But what is going to happen now? Because he has given them bailout now. After paying the backlog of salary, and they couldn't pay
they can't meet up.
They can't meet up the payment of the next. What do they do?
But do you believe that poverty can be eradicated in Nigeria?
Yes, it can. There's so much here.
Definitely not with the kind of leadership
we can eradicate poverty by 80-85% in Nigeria
Very possible.
Very, very possible. All we need, we have the resources, both in terms of manpower and human and resources and infrastructure, natural resources. All we need to do now is to begin to provide the environment to enable your manpower thrive.
Who is going to do that for us? That is the question.
And when you provide the environment, the business, private investors will naturally, the market is here. The market is here. Before, you talk about mechanic, we're talking about mechanic now. If they had told you that, somebody will graduate from the university someday before and set up a mechanic workshop and pride himself and look, I'm a mechanic, you wouldn't believe it. But today, with the kind of hybrid cars that we're talking about, smart living, you need mechanics now that will do, those hybrid cars, and people are going into it. And so you need to begin to look at, there are opportunities that are opening up. How do I, upgrade my people to latch into these opportunities? How do I provide environment for them?
All right, we really have to go now, but thank you very much, Deborah Soshoma and Akoni or Romini, for coming on the program today. Well, like they said, it's very, very possible to eradicate poverty and hunger in Nigeria. It has to do with a lot of political will and good policy planning for all of this to come to pass. Thank you so very much for being a part of the show. And if we couldn't get your call in, it was due to some technical challenges, but do well to join us tomorrow for another exciting segment of Call Digest. My name is Omotayo Alo. Have a lovely day.
You can now watch Core TV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to Core TV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click Core TV, leave a space, then News. Core TV News, a 24-hour news station.
Is it warocracy or autocracy? Or what type of crazy is that? Except crazy.
News making the headlines.
Black Maria is to carry criminals, child looters that are in government today.
Sometimes it gets confrontational.
Slap you in the face. Excuse me, don't put words into my mouth.
Whatever it is that will bring our military to the support, I said to hell
on Core Digest.
I want to know why I should be believing them.
Every weekday, we bring all of these together and take them to the court of public opinion.
Everybody have the right in Nigeria.
Where you are the judge.